Hey everyone, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're looking at the 2016 short film, The Stylist, brought to us by Jill Giver-Gizian. It's a short film about a young stylist named Claire, played brilliantly by Najara Townsend, and her, I guess, dissatisfaction with her own life and in her own way of wanting a different life or wanting to be perfect. In walks Mandy, played by Jennifer Plas, and that's where the story goes from there. I don't want to spoil anything. It's a short film, and it's very easy to give away a lot. What I will say is that I enjoyed this film immensely. I've enjoyed Jill's other work, but this, I think, is definitely the best thing she has done so far. It's really hard to describe it without giving anything away. I will say that I'm a big fan of atmosphere when it comes to horror-type films, and this is a horror short. And this movie really captures atmosphere really, really well. It does help that the director does have a background in hairstyling, and that shows in both the set and I think just the overall feel, that it doesn't feel like Townsend, as Claire, is forcing her actions as a hairdresser. It comes across as very natural. And I think that is what really helps in this film, is that everything comes across very smoothly. Everything is very well done. The cinematography is spot on. The score complements the film perfectly without being an overly dramatic horror-esque, for lack of a better term, type of score. It just works well with the atmosphere that I think they were going for, the tone they were going for with the film. It does also use some, I don't want to spoil anything, but some very good use of a rather interesting sound effect that has stuck with me, and I think about it way too often, and it makes me uneasy every time I think about it, and every time I watch this film, which has been more than once. I will also say that the ending, I know some people will watch this and feel that it leaves it open, and there are people who don't like that, and I disagree. I like when things are not just handed to me and said, this is the meaning of everything. I like being able to look at it and try to decipher my own meaning. I mean, there is, for me, I get a definite feeling that this is a story of a character, Townsend, Claire, who has a certain level of remorse and anguish in her life. She's not simply an evil person, as you often get in many, many horror films, where the bad guy is just bad guy because they're a bad guy, and that's all it is. They're just a bad guy who wants to kill people because they're a bad guy. But this, you get a real human who does bad things, but there's definite conflict going on with the character, and there's a certain, as I said, anguish, and the emotion in this film, both I would assume from the direction and also from very, very good acting on the part of Townsend. And it really, really helps with the story, because you actually have some empathy for the characters in this, and that is a hard thing to accomplish in a short film, where you can really connect to a character and you can actually feel for a character in a short film. But they really pull that off with this, and I like the fact that they leave it without clear answers, where I can then look and try to come up with my own things as to what is the motivation behind the character, where does it go from here, and all that kind of stuff. I don't always need everything handed to me and say, that they all lived happily ever after, or that this person was shot by a cop, or whatever. I don't always need that answer. They do this because, their mother was raped by 1,000 inmates. I like the fact that there's no backstory. I don't get a bunch of backstory. I get what is given to me in less than 15 minutes. That's what I have to go with, and I think it tells a great story just as it is. I mean, that's all I really have for this one. It's when it becomes available for you to see, I highly recommend watching it. I've definitely become a big fan of short films, much more as I've, I guess, gotten older. They really can, at times, have a lot to offer. And this one has production value that rivals anything you'll see just about anywhere, short or feature length in that regard. So, until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.